Everybody, what's up? Welcome into Rapidkick Media. I'm Roger. I just kind of wanted to go over all the new Pokemon Let's Go stuff, specifically why I changed my mind on it. If you watch the Let's Play and stuff that we do on the channel, I'm sure you've heard more than a couple of times of me poo-pooing the game. I hated the game. I hated that it was an expanded version of a mobile game. I don't know what my hang-up on it was, but now I've kind of came around onto it, and I actually went out and I pre-ordered the game. I got the edition with the Pokeball Plus, and I'm super excited for it now. The game looks really, really, really fun, and I have some points, I guess, brought up as to why I kind of changed my mind on it. And the first one would be, it's a 3D look at Kanto. Like, it looks really good. They nailed everything. The more gameplay came out, the more I got to see the way that, Pallet Town looked right in the first area. Then you hit Viridian Forest and Celadon City, and oh man, the trainers look good. And once they finally showed off of Lavender Town, I was sold. The music there is awesome. The trainer battles look really cool, and I am all about it. So yeah. The look at Kanto is really, really, really cool. So I'm super pumped for that. Another thing that I really liked about it is it cuts a lot of fluff from the main games. Now, some people might not like this. They might not like the change. And admittedly, at first, I am never one to come around to change right away. Whenever something works, just keep it that way for me for the most part. But now that there's no HMs, and they did away with that before, breeding was a big issue. Now, I'll make a good team. I have never been too competitive with Pokemon, but I do like to play my friends, and I do like to win. So I have done some breeding and stuff, but now it's all done. You can pay a lady. She's in a Poke Center somewhere, and it's like 10,000 Poke Dollars, and then you get to essentially change the nature of your Pokemon, in which you can, boost stats and really work for what breeding did to get yourself the best and most competitive Pokemon. So that's gone, and the new feature's in, and I really like it. And the thing that I like the most is that there's a storage box on you. You don't have to travel to the Poke Center every single time. You don't have to go boot up the PC. You got a storage container with you. I think it stores up to 30 Pokemon. I would assume there's probably still a computer around that you can put Pokemon in. But man, that is a cool feature. And it keeps it to where, like, you can put your like, say you have Let's Go Pikachu. Your Pikachu's hanging out on your shoulder. You can put him in your box, and he's still going to be on your shoulder. And I think that feature is really, really, really dope. And kind of going on with that, with your Pokemon like Pikachu on your shoulder, Eevee on your head, your Pokemon all follow you now. So whatever Pokemon I'm going to assume you have equipped in your first slot will be following behind you. And they're all scaled to size. So you can have, there's like a big Gengar I saw, and Onix is huge. And if the Pokemon are big enough, you can ride them. So Charizard, all that stuff, they all follow you. And that hasn't really happened since Soul Silver. And that was something that everybody loved and everybody has wanted back. And I don't know why that didn't click to me right away, but now it does, and now it looks really cool. Once I see, once I guess started soaking in that I could have a Dragonite rolling around with me on top of my Pikachu or Eevee, it feels like I should have never been hung up on that. But I'm super, super stoked for that. Another really cool thing that I'm stoked for, and I think I've always wanted in a Pokemon game, and probably a lot of other people have. I guess it hasn't really been talked about much, but you can catch the original 3 starters in the game. So yeah, you're forced to initially get the Pikachu or Eevee, whichever game you get, and you can catch a Charmander. You go to the Viridian Forest, and boom, Bulbasaurs are popping up on the screen. You can catch all the starter Pokemon. No more trading, no more doing all the loopholes you had to do to get those Pokemon. You get them right away. You can catch them. I don't think that any of them are exclusive. Now, don't quote me on that, but typically Pokemon games have Pokemon are exclusive to one version and then to the other, and I don't think any of those are. At least it hasn't said, or I've read. So you can catch Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle all in the game, and that is freaking awesome. that is, God, that's a cool feature that I think I've always wanted, and I don't know that anybody's ever really talked about it, but I'm telling you now that I want it. Another really cool thing is that, you know, if you want to see your starter Pokemon, like where to catch them, well, they're going to be popping up on screen, kind of like I mentioned with Bulbasaur, and that's because you can see them in the world. Now, at first, I poo-pooed this. I was like, oh, I just want the random encounters. Takes the surprise out of the game. No, it doesn't really, now that I see how it works. So you'll see Pokemon pop up, and you have to try to run to that Pokemon if you want it, and you got to hope that another Pokemon doesn't chase you down, or another Pokemon doesn't spawn up. They spawn in and out, and you could make it to a Pokemon, and it despawns before you get there, so you don't get it. So that adds, like, you know, 3 or 4 other levels of complexity to trying to get to those Pokemon you want. And, you know, there's also boosted Pokemon and stuff on there, so you're going to have to try to make a mad dash for those and hope that nothing else touches you, or you don't touch anything else. And you can see which Pokemon are shinies in the overworld now. So I've seen one clip, and I'll see if I can find it and get it in the video. It was a Weedle, I think. You'll see it pop up in the open world, and there are little stars above it. And oh man, that's really cool. That makes things a lot easier for shiny hunting, which I think a lot of people are going to like hunting shinies for the very first time in this game. It's not so much a grind. It's probably still very, very rare, but we'll see how it goes. I just think it's really cool that you can tell that a Pokemon is shiny as soon as it pops up and spawns into the screen. Another really cool thing, and I think this is one of the things that started driving everything home for me, is when they announced the 151 Master Trainers. Now, what these guys are they have one type of Pokemon, and or it's just like one singular Pokemon, not one type, just one singular Pokemon, and you have to post game go battle them. The Pokemon is super leveled up, and you have to battle them with the same Pokemon to show that you are a better trainer of that Pokemon, than to become the master trainer of that Pokemon. I left all my Metapod jokes that everybody else have been making at the door.
Metapod, hardened like his.
Maximum hardness, Metapod.
I'm sorry, I lied. And it looks really cool. It gives the game a whole new level of replayability. It's not just catch Mewtwo and then you're done, and then you're just grinding out things to fight your friends with. There's more to it. There's more to do now, and I think that's a super, super cool feature. Another thing that I really like is that this game is easily streamable on its natural hardware. Now, if you want to like stream Pokemon, a lot of people will use like emulators and stuff like that, which is totally cool and it's fine, and you can play like the hacks and all different, you know, your Pokemon Blacks and stuff like that, where your Pokemon die, and it makes for a really cool experience, and I'm sure a lot of people will still do that, and I think it's super cool. But, you know, if you wanted to play, like, let's just say Sun and Moon, if you wanted to play those, you would need some sort of emulator, or you would need some sort of software onto your 3DS to be able to stream that online. Or you would need to get a capture card in your 3DS, which that involves either sending it off to a person and paying a lot of money, and, you know, that's sending your 3DS to some rando you don't know. Nah. Because it isn't that easy to do. It's not just like, you know, a couple of drops here and there, you know, you plug something in and you're streaming. That isn't it. And then there's software, and it doesn't work as good as if you were to, you know, bust out the money and get the capture card in the 3DS. Now you can go just straight on into your capture card from your Switch, and you can have a good stream of Pokemon without all of the hassle, without, you know, trying to hold your console very steady in your hand if you were trying to do it with the camera mode and MacGyver it. It just makes it way easier, and I think that's a really cool thing. I think a lot of people are going to be streaming this game. I know for sure that I'm pumped about doing it. The final thing that I really, really like is one thing that I guess, you know, if there ever were a selling point whenever I was poo-pooing the game to making me get it, it was the Pokeball Plus controller. That Pokeball Plus controller speaks to me in every possible way you could possibly speak to me. It's like, you know, you can put your Pokemon in there, you can carry it around, you can hear it, you can feel it rumble in your pocket and stuff. Very similar, you know, I love the Pokewalker, and it's somewhat similar to that without the screen, but I mean, the construction of it and everything is really cool. And, you know, also you can use it as a controller and to throw the ball and stuff at the screen, and don't throw the ball at the screen and break your screen. Keep that shit tethered on. But it's super neat. I really like it. I really, really, really like it. And it's like one of those pieces of Nintendo. It's that stuff that they produce that, you know, it just feels Nintendo. It feels Pokemon. I definitely want to be playing this game with the Pokeball controller. I definitely want to play the next core game that comes out in 2019 they've been talking about with that Pokeball controller. So that's definitely a kick-ass selling point, and I think that's about everything that really kind of turned me around on the game. I started out and I hated it. I hated the idea that I would be paying $60 for something that has key aspects of a mobile game in it. And, you know, just because I didn't like Pokemon Go didn't mean that I didn't like Pokemon Go when it first came out and everybody else was playing it. It was a ton of fun. So I think I can look past, you know, whenever you encounter a Pokemon, you have to throw a Pokeball at it as opposed to battling it. You know, I think I can look past that because the game looks really fun. So let me know if you guys are looking forward to the game or not. If there are reasons that you think that the game is still not worth it to you, let me know in the comments below. If it is worth it to you, if you did come around on it, also let me know in the comments below. Please talk to us. We're building up the channel here, so it's really cool to talk with new people and get everybody in as we make more and more content. We do daily stuff every day, so please subscribe to the channel. Check it out for all the Let's Plays and the anime podcast and the other podcasts that we put on. Please come hang out on the live streams. And follow the links below. Go check out our Twitters and check out our Instagram where we put up all sorts of cool photos. You guys take it easy. Thank y'all so much. See you later.
That's it, man.